Welcome to Allie's Attic, where you never know what kind of surprise you'll find in my attic. I'm your host, Allie, and today my surprise is a singer, songwriter, song stylist who sings to your soul. Please welcome Raspin Stuwart. Hi, Raspin.
Hi, Allie. How are you today?
I am awesome. How are you?
I'm awesome. It's gorgeous in LA today.
Oh, shush. We're getting close to winter in Manitoba, and don't ever come here in wintertime. Because it's awful.
I'll probably be touring in winter.
Oh gosh, don't come here. No, I'm joking. Come here because I get to come see you then.
Right. And you might even get a comp ticket.
Ooh, there we go. Okay, so anybody that needs an opening act, this man is awesome. So book him if you're coming to Winnipeg or anywhere, or you want to get him into, like, I don't know, casinos or concert halls or, yeah, just,
I love theaters. I love concert halls, yeah.
There you go.
Listening room. I love where people can listen to the music.
Exactly. Smaller, more intimate. I like it too. I love it when it's smaller and intimate. Yeah. And you do a lot of that.
Like the Greek Theater in Los Angeles.
There you go. See, you do a lot of that. But I just wanted to say you would be wonderful as an opening act because you'd be wonderful as just coming and seeing you. So that's why I'm promoting hire him for an opening act or get him, into one of your venues because he's amazing. As you will find out as we carry on. Good Lord, we haven't even talked about you and I'm already promoting the heck out of you.
I know, I love it.
Anyways, okay.
Every artist needs a good promoter.
Oh, obviously, everyone. And I love doing it. Like, it's a passion. So that makes it even better. Now, I like that it says, like, okay, your life and career can be best described as a tale of two cities, Chicago and Los Angeles. So you've kind of lived in both. And now,
right.
Where are you living now?
I live in Los Angeles.
In Los Angeles.
I'm from Chicago.
Okay. And if you had a genre that described your music, what would it be, Raspin? Like, would it be the blues, or it's kind of a mixture?
Well, it's really interesting because people have a hard time pegging me because I'll go from a dirty, downright blues song to a spiritual song.
Or reggae.
Or reggae.
Yeah.
Or reggae. My newest song is a reggae song.
Yeah.
I've played Carvel's in Santa Monica, B.B. King's, House of Blues, but I've also played the spiritual living centers, which I love. Mm-hmm. And I opened up for Marianne Williamson one time. Mm-hmm. And that was very cool. And I love to perform. That's where I feel most comfortable is on stage in life.
That's great.
That's kind of strange if you think like, oh, that's the only place you feel comfortable, but it really is the only place that I feel at home.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's obviously where you belong.
Right.
Now, I love your music. It tells a story. It touches you. Some songs get you, like you said, tapping your foot, wanted to dance. I'm glad you mentioned B.B. King's House of Blues. I had his daughter on a little while ago about her book. So if she's listening, retweet for this man. She was amazing, and the stories that she told me about her dad were amazing. So when I saw that, I was like, oh my goodness, that is so cool.
Awesome.
Oh, no kidding, right? So, okay, Raspin, you've already started telling your journey. I want you to keep going. Like, tell me when you started getting interested in music right up to right now. I think your story is very intriguing, and I love the way you sing. So, it's all yours.
Well, I don't sing anything like I talk either, which is interesting.
Yeah, we talked about that when we first started. You're very soft-spoken.
Yeah. The other thing is, it's... well, I just got lost. So let's just start kind of what I think my music is. You asked me what kind of music I think it is.
Yes.
I think it's a very soulful, passionate, honest music. Mm-hmm. Because I do sing from my heart, and I hope it touches everyone else's heart when I sing.
It does.
My songs have been described as kind of very spiritual, about life, lessons that we learn in life, with a twist with hope. Mm-hmm. And the melodies, the last show I did a show at the Backstage Coffee Gallery in Altadena. And it was kind of I split it with a young group, which was very cool. So I would say a half or three-quarters of the audience was mine, and the other half was theirs. But the thing of it is that for my first song, the audience just participated and they sing along, even if they haven't heard the songs, because the songs are so simple but meaningful that they catch on, and they're like a Peter, Paul, and Mary show. I'm dating myself, but they are. Have you ever been to a Peter, Paul, and Mary show?
I wish, because I'm a huge 70s fan.
You sing the whole time you're listening to them.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I hope my shows do to people. You can participate because it's really about the audience. It's not about me. It's about you. Mm-hmm. And that's what I love about performing.
Well, and you've been called a force of nature who is show-stopping, which is
that was like Paul Zolo.
Yeah,
critic. Yeah,
that's like a wonderful, wonderful analogy of you. And I like that you're not in a box, like in a specific genre. You cover a lot of them. It gives you more room to be creative, and you catch all kinds of different people, because maybe some people don't like this type, but some people like this type. So I like it when artists don't put themselves in a box. I think that's absolutely great. So basically, yeah, tell me how old were you when you started on this journey?
The first time I grabbed a guitar, I was like 13 years old.
Wow.
And I was shown two chords, a D and a G. And I think I learned, I think it was Blowing in the Wind by Bob Dylan, but I think it was Peter, Paul, and Mary's version. And from then on, I never really sang other people's songs. I only wrote my own songs, even back then. And that's when I started. And then at 17, and I would go to Chicago to play in folk clubs like Earl of Old Town, Orphans, and things like that. Mm-hmm. And I would do open mics and things. And I used to stay at my sister's in Chicago, and my mom thought, she's going to watch me. And I'd say, I was like 16 years old, and I'd say, I'm going to go out. I wanted to go out to this club and play a song. And she'd go, okay, go ahead, but you have to kind of be back. And I was walking home one day, and it was like midnight, because she lived down the street. And a cop stopped me, and he goes, what are you doing out? It's midnight. And I told him, and that was way back when they didn't really care, but they did care. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of funny that, at 16, here I am going to clubs. And then at 17, I was like just turning 18, I moved to Los Angeles for music. And because I wanted to be on A&M Records. That was my kind of goal, which I did get signed to A&M as a writer, and one of my songs, my first songs, got placed called Hold On as a single, and Jimmy Haskell did the arranging, which was very cool.
Yeah.
And then a woman hit the scene, kind of. I was probably 18, 19, and her name was Donna Summer. I love Donna Summer. And but I didn't do disco. And then New Wave happened, and I don't do New Wave. And I can't change because I just do what I do. Mm-hmm. That's the name of my first record, We Do What We Do, We Do. And so I kind of didn't put the guitar back, but I kind of just wasn't performing at all. And I accidentally started a magazine in Los Angeles.
Okay.
And it became very successful.
Ooh. And
from there, I still performed a little bit, and I would record songs, and I would put them in my drawer, never play them for anybody. And then I would produce artists, like I produced Glenn Campbell's granddaughter, Brittany Campbell, and we had a song called Daddy Don't You Know How to Just Say No. And then I produced CCH Pounder's CD. It was a spoken word CD. Mm-hmm.
Smoke.
Yeah, And then I would produce, artists around town. They need a demo or something, and I would produce it for them. And then I produced We Do What We Do CD, which is my CD. And that sat for maybe, I'm going to say, 5 or 6 or 7 years, and nothing happened to it. And a friend of mine said, can I send it, can I hear it? And I gave it to her. And she got it on a website that made it to, like, the best new artist for film scores, not film scores, songs for films.
Mm-hmm.
And that was very cool. And then another friend of mine, she was with Starbucks, and she said, you should send your music to our music department. She goes, let me find out who to send it to. So she found out who to send it to. She goes, here's his email. Send it to him. And it's in his hands. I can't do anything about it, but here's the contact. I did. And the next thing I know, they licensed 3 songs for in-store airplay. And that was maybe 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I made a life change, and I started performing and playing full-time. I gave up the magazine and started performing and playing full-time. And that kind of changed my life. And from then, and I didn't even know I was, and this is hard for me to say, I didn't even know what I did on stage, what people saw, but they kind of felt something when I sang, because I love to sing, and I sing from my heart.
Mm-hmm.
And that was pretty much it. And then I started this new CD maybe 2 years ago, and it's going to be done very soon. I've got 7 tracks done, and I've got 3 more to go.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is a blues song called Mama's Got the Blues.
Ooh.
And that's a very cool song. I start almost all my shows with that song.
Oh, nice.
Because it says, when Mama's got the blues, something's got to give.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of my story up to date.
Okay.
In a nutshell.
In a nutshell. Okay.
Did I talk? I
yeah.
talk when I start.
That was good. That was good.
Yeah. Okay, good.
You're funny. I like your sense of humor. Now, your bio is, I love your bio. It talks about your emotional vocals and striking lyrics impacting brightly on listeners. And you also have hypnotic melodic background. Like, just, I would love to come to one of your shows, because I think it would be just amazing because of all the differences. And like you said, you like getting intimate and having the audience participate and sing along. I think it would just be a great, great time. Now, you were also, like, you've done appearances at the National Association of Music Merchants in recent years, and you were also an inclusion in the stellar lineup for Southern California's Make Pasadena concert at Levitt Pavilion, Pasadena.
That was cool.
Yeah, I guess it would be.
They all are cool.
Yeah, and you also had, like, standing room only events at clubs, music festivals up and down the West Coast, including San Diego's Adam Street Music Festival on the Starbucks stage.
Yeah, that was cool. That was very cool.
Yeah, and the Blues stage and San Mateo Music Festival. So
yeah, that was very cool. They're all very cool. I mean, anytime they give me a stage and an audience, it's cool.
I would imagine. Now,
well, 99%.
Yeah, exactly, right?
There's always 1%.
Yeah, there's always 1%. Now, your YouTube videos have enjoyed more than 50,000 views. That is a lot.
That kind of happened when the Starbucks thing happened.
Okay.
And I performed a lot in the last 4 years. And I always promote myself when I sing. I always tell them to go to my YouTube page. I tell them to go to my Facebook page. And I was on Twitter, but I never used Twitter until I released this new song, King of Fools. But the real song I haven't really released King of Fools, even though I have released King of Fools. My friend would say, why do you always go, it is, but it isn't? Because it is. Smoke the Hookah reggae version. And why I say it was recorded on my first record, kind of jazzy.
Mm-hmm.
But then Steve Reed from the Rippingtons, have you ever heard of the Rippingtons?
No, I haven't.
They're a very cool jazz band. He also played in Supertramp for a while.
Oh, okay.
And he's a percussionist. He's an awesome percussionist. He said, I want to record Smoke the Hookah. So I went into his studio and I put down a guitar and a vocal. And I went away. And when I came back, he had all this electronic stuff mixed with his percussion stuff. It was very cool, reggae tune. And I went in and I put on my vocals, and we put on the background vocals. And I got this idea of releasing it, even though it's a prayer to me. It's not. It was written as a prayer because it's about the repression of all the people in the world. And no matter how you can try to keep us down, we band together somehow. And the hookah just kind of references to me is the peace pipe of life.
Ooh, very nice.
Hookah has many arms, and lots of people can share it. And like if you came to my house, I would offer you a drink, I'd offer you some food. If I had a hookah in my house, I'd offer you a hit of hookah, but I don't have a hookah in my house, so I can't offer you a food or a beverage. So that's what this song is about, and no matter how you can, pour the suffering, the injustice in the world, we rise above it.
Always.
And so I decided, but most people thought it was about marijuana or pot.
Yeah.
And you can take it as that if you want, because I don't care what you do in life as long as you give to the world and you love along the way.
Oh, very nice.
So my thing was I was going to release it on 4/20 of this year, which I did. And from then, I did a e-blast to all the publications I knew around the country. And I got picked up by the Huffington Post, the 420 Times, Toke Tank, and Music Junkies, which is a huge music critic. And that kind of got the ball rolling. And then I sent it to a little radio station. I don't know if they're little. I always say little. A radio station called KB Radio. And they started playing it. And all of a sudden, Fish Creek Radio heard it. And they're in Texas, I think, and in the Midwest. And they started playing it. And all of a sudden, my Twitter followers went from like 25 to 200. And then it went to 500. Then it went to 700. Then it went to 1,000. And I just passed 1,000. And it's kind of interesting. And then it hit, Smoke the Hookah hit number 1 on KB. And then it hit it again. And then it just kept hitting it. And it's been 12 weeks. It stayed on the charts for 12 weeks. Yeah,
number 1 on the Indie Music Top 10.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah. And so we just keep the song blazing.
Yeah, well, and it's a great song.
And now it's on Allie's Attic.
Yes, now it's on my show. And the whole world.
You're a bubble. I mean, you are just a gem.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Raspin. And the whole world is going to get to hear it. And I have amazing fans in the UK, like amazing, all across the world, the UK, the US, Canada, not so much. I'm like, hello, I'm Canadian. I'm starting to get recognition here, and I'm starting to finally get more Canadian artists, because we have amazing talent in Canada, and I wish more people would see that. Unfortunately, a lot of them have to move to the States to kind of make it, but I'm hoping that'll change. Now, I like that you mentioned the clubs you've played in, and B.B. King Blues Club, Biscuit and Blues in San Francisco, Santa Monica.
Yeah, that was a very nice club. I love that club.
Oh, nice.
The day before I played, Marie Muldaur was there. Which I love her. Midnight at the Oasis.
Midnight at the Oasis. Oh my goodness, I knew that right away. Wow, that is such a great song. Okay, so also Santa Monica's Harville's and the Troubadour in Hollywood.
Yes.
That is awesome.
That's a very cool club, too.
Yeah, I would imagine. I want to go so bad. So you've been around for a while. You've done many things. I'm glad that you finally decided to do music full time because I love your music.
Thank you.
So if you had any advice, Raspin, to give a new artist that was just starting out, what kind of advice would you give them?
Keep your mental health.
Good advice.
I would say, well, why I say that is because along the way you have to be. A lot of people will tell you what and how to do things, and it takes a village to make something happen. But you have to be true to your art, and you have to really believe in yourself, and you have to just give it 150% all the time, and pretty much that's it. And you have to go for it, and you have to say yes. You can't say no to a lot of things. You have to say, yes, I'll try it. You have to try new things, and you have to keep evolving all the time. So that's my advice.
That's very good advice. You don't want to be a cookie cutter.
No.
At all.
Although a lot of people do, the industry actually, especially the commercial industry, they do. It's very hard when it's to be unique and to be your own self isn't always the easiest route, but you have to do it because you will. It'll happen. That's what I'm going to tell people. It'll happen. Just keep moving forward one day at a time.
Well, and that's what I say to myself every day. My show is going to get bigger. I'm going to get advertising sponsorships. I'm going to get a lot more artists. And you have to keep believing. Because if you stop, dreams don't work unless you do. That's my favorite saying.
That's your advice. I'm going to take your advice.
Well, thank you. I don't know if it's good, but it works for me.
Of course it's good.
Okay, good. Now, what two songs are we going to hear from you today, Raspin?
I think you're going to hear my new song, which I'm going to really heavily promote probably in the next month. It's called King of Fools. And that song is, it's about life and about kind of what we're going through now in life, but we've been going through it for a long time.
Yeah.
It's not a new song. I mean, it is a new song, but it's not a new problem. Exactly. And everyone thinks it's about who you think it's about, but it's not about him.
I'm glad you said that.
And that's how you do him.
Yeah.
So it just there's a line in it that says, "In the last breath you take, you'll take alone." And that song came when my father was dying. And my whole family was around him, and I have a big family. We have a lot. I don't understand why people gather. But anyway, the last breath he took, he didn't need anybody to take it but him and the Maker. Yeah, exactly. And so that kind of, and then it has a tango vibe to it, and it's telling you life is a banquet, why not taste it? But you'll have to listen to it, which I think people are going to. And the other one is Smoke the Hookah, which I kind of already told you about.
Exactly, and I love it. Love it.
And a lot of people ask me how I write my songs. I don't really write them. They come through me from the divinity. And Smoke the Hookah came out very quickly. It was, done in 2 weeks. Wow. And King of Fools, believe it or not, took 8 years to write.
I've heard so many artists say that. It's crazy. You don't think that it would be that hard, but sometimes it is.
It's not that it's hard. It's just that, that song sat for years. And then one day I started to play it again, and there's a line in there that says, Gandhi Buddha, Jesus Christ, my God, what if they lied? And that came out, and that kind of, and I was playing it, it just kind of came out. All those words just popped out of my mouth. And that was the finish kind of catalyst that took it to the end, and within about a week and a half, that song was done.
Well, good. I'm glad. It's a great song. I'm urging everybody to go out and purchase Raspin Stuwart's music, because it's transcending. If there was a word to describe it, it's transcending. And there's different, like, there's reggae, spiritual, like you said, rock and dirty, gritty. It's amazing. And it does make you feel something. Every song does. So CD Baby carries his CD. Go and purchase it there. You can also go to his website, raspin.com. Now, it's going to be linked on my website to his website. So you just have to click the link and it'll take you directly to his page. You can find out more about him. You can see his fantastic picture with his angel wings that I absolutely love. And you'll get to know more about him, because you are a very intriguing individual, Raspin, and I am so happy that you came on my show. Like, you have no idea.
Well, it's an honor to be on your show.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
And I'm telling you, I don't know why I keep saying, but you're just a bubble. You just put a smile on my face when I'm talking to you.
Well, thank you. I'm glad. That's a good thing.
That's very good.
Yes. Well, thank you very much. You make me smile too. You have a very subtle sense of humor, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And I love that you're so soft-spoken, but yet your songs are just like, wow. It's so funny.
It's kind of funny. It's like I spent a week going up to San Francisco with a friend last week, and they kept saying, "What did you say?" And I'm going, "Are you deaf? Are you deaf?" And it's like, I guess I do talk soft.
You do.
I never thought about it, but I guess I do.
Yeah, but that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing.
But I sing big.
Yeah, you do. You definitely do.
Last night I was in a club, and I was singing a song, and I always like to get because I don't usually plug my guitar in. I like to use a mic. Mm-hmm. And I walked away from the mic and started to sing. And I said, "Can you hear the?" Because I'll talk while I'm playing my guitar. I go, "Can you hear me?" And they go, "Yeah, we can hear you fine." And the sound man goes, "I can't believe you walked away from the microphone." I said, "It still worked." It wasn't that big of a club.
They can still hear me. Sound guy's pulling his hair out.
I was actually doing hookah.
Ah.
And in the beginning of that, I go, I pray for you, I pray for me, I pray for peace and harmony, I pray for humanity. And then I start the song.
Ah, very nice.
Because I've been praying before I go on stage, and I do it right on stage.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because it's kind of a calming thing for me. Mm-hmm. And it gets me focused, and it gets me, I don't know what, it just gets me. And it's a kind of a thank you, because the stage is my temple, and I think it's everyone else's that's a performer's temple.
Yeah, very much so. I've never thought of it that way. It's very, very true. Thank you for coming on. Just so you know, Raspin, this isn't a one-shot deal. If anything new happens, like once you have your other CD out, whatever the case, you know how to get a hold of me. You can come back on anytime. Like I said, any big news, anything, just let me know, and I'll have you back, because I tell all my artists that, but I absolutely love talking to you. I could sit here and talk to you all day. But I think people would get tired after a while of listening. So thank you again for coming on.
Thank you very much, Alan.
Keep doing what you're doing, please.
And maybe we'll go to Canada and build your audience.
Oh my goodness, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. That would be great. And then I get to see you up close and personal. That would be awesome. So Raspin, thank you very much, and I wish you all the success in the world.
Thank you much, and blessings to you too.
And thank you for joining me on Allie's Attic. Keep checking my website, because you never know what kind of surprise you'll find in my attic. Cheers!